Welcome back everybody. So this is gonna be a really quick update video for you guys on stock market, and I really do appreciate you guys putting 186 likes on that previous video, and I would really appreciate the same thing here on this video because these videos actually take a lot of my time. Now if you're new here, consider subscribing, and if you want to get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, and 3 days of live trading, check out the Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And now let's get right into it. Dow is down 0.67%, Nasdaq slightly down on the day, you can call it a flat day, 0.22%, S&P down 0.41%, and Russell going down 1.25%. And here's 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. On top, we got technology, communication services, consumer cyclical, consumer defensive, healthcare, lagging behind, energy, basic materials, utilities, industrials, financial, and real estate. So what do we have here on stock market map? Again, the same name driving this market. And guess who, guys? Nvidia. It was up over 3%. Still up 2.69%, and then AMD going up out of nowhere almost 8%. Microsoft, we played this one, it's up on the day 0.32%, hitting another fresh new all-time high. In that case, we saw Apple actually coming down all the way down to almost 180. It was down over 2%, still down 1.37%. Smaller regional banks are also down, with big banks, JPM, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all that is down on the day. And look at another big name here from industrials. Boeing down 8%, Amazon down 1%, Tesla down 0.23%, Meta going down 1.66%, and Google going down 0.36%. And now let's have a look at SPY ETF. So on SPY ETF, you can see clearly on my screen, this thing does not want to give up. And if you look at my screen, look at this rising 20-day moving average sitting at 473.23. And look at the low here for the day, 473. This thing bounced off of the support and now trading close to 475, just under 476. So here on SPY ETF, things are really clear. Above 476, you're going to see possibly 478 to 480 on SPY ETF. But you can see momentum is definitely not to the upside anymore. It's kind of shifting to the downside. We're not just getting a lot of selling to the downside. Also, Bollinger Bands are squeezing right here. And that means one thing, a big move is coming. Now, when that is coming, we have seen that before. It comes, and it will definitely come. You just have to wait for that. Whenever you see Bollinger Bands are squeezing, that is a big, huge explosive move coming on a pattern like that. You just have to wait. Also, you need to wait for the support to break, especially 20-day moving average 473. It needs to get under 473. If that happens quickly, you're going to see 467 on SPY ETF. And taking this low out means one thing, this thing will come down to 460 all the way down here, guys. So SPY ETF, definitely momentum is shifting to the downside. There is not much gas left in the tank for this thing to push higher, but I'm not ruling out the possibilities. This thing can go up to 480 because it's not too far away, and possibly can hit a fresh new all-time high before going down. And here's my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription or anything you gotta go through. You can just give me a follow, and I do post a lot of things right here on X. Now, I'm not going to go through these plays today right here. You can take a look right here on my X account. We took Tesla and Microsoft and IWM. I did not post here. But if you want to support the channel and get all these trade ideas, swing trade ideas, and 3 days of live trading, it's only $35 a month, and it's worth every penny. And if you go for annual membership, you get 10% off and another 1 month extra, which is free. So 13 months and 10% off. Definitely, if you want to support the channel, check out that link down below in the description for Patreon, and you can also support the channel by doing that. On triple Q, absolutely flat on the day, and this thing would not come down because of Nvidia, AMD going up, and Microsoft. Now, inflation. Let's talk about inflation for a minute, guys. What's happening in the Red Sea? That is definitely going to come back and bite Jay Powell in the butt, because he took a victory lap saying that inflation falling off the cliff and we're gonna start cutting rates, right? He gave that big boost to the market hitting fresh new all-time highs, especially Nasdaq 100 and triple Q right here. But what's happening here in the Red Sea? Those shipping containers, they were costing 1,000, and now double that. 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, some cases even 4,000. So until that matter is resolved, next 3 to 4 months, inflation is coming back 100%, because now they got to take a longer route, and that Red Sea route is not safe anymore. So, a lot of things are escalating, especially on that Red Sea, and not only that, in Middle East. So we could be going into a big war, and market just denying all that, like, I don't care, you can go to war, you can do whatever you want to do, I'll just go and hit new all-time highs. But that's just not how things run. Things will run and run and run, and suddenly you're going to think that, yes, there is a dip, I'm going to buy it. Guess what? That dip is not the dip you want, because market will continue to go down whenever that happens, and I think it's coming very soon, guys. So what's happening in the Red Sea, how the inflation coming back or making a comeback, we already saw that with CPI, and now with the next one, if this is how it goes, you're going to see inflation making a big comeback, and that's going to put a lot more pressure on Jay Powell. So let's see. Market is pricing in 6 rate cuts this year. How is that going to play out? Now here on triple Q, look at this today. 406, 20-day moving average 406.28. This thing bounced off and now trading above 408.54, holding 5-day moving average. So going into tomorrow's session, 408.54 will be a support, and just below that 406, 404, and below 404, you're going to see a dump off down to 400 and then 396. As long as this thing can hold above 406.28, rising 20-day moving average, the next stop 412 and then 415. So on Dow Jones, it's down 0.61%, nothing big, only $2.28. And you can see we actually took out this low, 372.54, and came down to almost 372 today. Now lower Bollinger Band sitting close to 372, so that's going to be support to watch tomorrow. And below that, you're going to see a dump off all the way down to 367. Now Bollinger Bands are squeezing really close, and that means one thing: explosive move here on Dow Jones is coming very soon. You just have to wait for that. Now to the upside, above 375 to 376, you're going to see a fresh new all-time high, and that could be 380 on DIA, Dow Jones ETF. On IWM, it's down 1.24%. Now, if you guys watched that video I made over the weekend, a lot of people look at a lot of different things to find out where the market is going and how the market breadth is. Now, I don't have to go too far. I usually look at IWM, and you can see market breadth definitely not looking good. This thing is down again 1.24%. We actually played IWM today and got out at 192 for a nice profit, and then this thing came back and now trading at 190.84. Now we do have strong support down here at 188, and just below that 50-day moving average at 186.69. But if that gives up, this is gonna be a real fake breakout to the upside, and this thing can dump all the way down to 183. Now IWM will find resistance at, you can see today, high for the day, 193 and big rejection. If this thing can actually break above 193, then there might be some more upside up to 196 to 198.44 to close this gap on top. But the way things are going right now, you can see clearly we actually made a new low on IWM, breaking below this low down here from last week on Thursday, 191, and getting down to almost 190 today. So things are not looking good. And if this thing actually breaks below 188 and takes out 50-day moving average, look at what happened before. Huge sell-off right here, right? Now, if this thing takes out 50-day moving average, 186.69, you're going to see huge dump off, and all these gaps can be getting closed right here on IWM within maybe next 3 to 4 weeks, unless we get that breakout above 193 and this thing gets up to 198.44 and holds right up here. On VIX, it's up 4.38%. It was up to almost 14 plus today. And you can see right on my screen, we had this bullish falling wedge and we got a massive breakout today. Now on a pullback, you want to watch this gap right here. And that would be 12.89 to 13 bucks right here if this thing actually pulls back down here to 13. Otherwise, if this thing actually breaks out above 14, you're going to see a quick trip all the way up to 15, and that means one thing, market will come down and this thing can go up even higher. Now also look at this 5-day moving average. Now it's positively sloping to the upside, and that means one thing, on a pullback it's going to hold right here around 12.89 to 13 bucks. And as long as this thing can hold this breakout, you're going to see more upside, possibly up to 15. And once we get above 15, that is going to be the real breakout on VIX for a move all the way up to $18. And that means one thing, everything will come down here in this market. So careful going long right now when this thing is actually breaking out to the upside. On TNX, 10-year is up 2.94%, almost 3%. Massive move to the upside. All we need here on TNX, this thing to break 41 and hold right here, and that means one thing, TNX heading higher all the way up to 43.71. And if that happens, you're going to see a dump off in the market. I mean, we saw one today, but that's not a big one, especially NVIDIA running and pretty much holding up the market, and Microsoft. So some of these names will come off and this thing can skyrocket all the way up to 43.71. And that means one thing, all that pump here in the market, especially on stocks like NVIDIA and Microsoft, something will happen and everything should come down, because this thing definitely breaking out from this downtrend, you can clearly see. And if this actually holds, you're going to see a lot more pain ahead here in this market. So here's another warning signal for the market. Dollar is up 0.92%. You can clearly see it's breaking out from this downtrend right here and almost getting above 103.58. And if that happens, you're going to see dollar going all the way up to 104.48. And that means one thing, S&P 500 and the growthy names will come down even more. Now on a pullback, now you're gonna watch 103 as a support, and just below that 102.67 on dollar. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I will definitely keep you guys updated going into tomorrow.